Yo,
Jill, what's up? What's up?
yeah, we back at it. We back at it.
It is February, man. Happy Valentine's Day. And I guess what the girls got the Galentines, all that
Yeah,
happening.
that's going crazy right now. I didn't even know that trend was popping like that. Everybody did a
I know, right?
Galentine.
Everybody's like, I gotta go here, I gotta go here for the girls, for the girls. I was like, dang, is it that bad? Like
Man, hey, at least they're building community, right? That's one
exactly,
thing.
exactly. That's all good. Gotta show love, show love. It's
I
all good.
You can't
So
knock
man,
that.
what's going on? What's going on with you? How you been?
Man, we've been good. We've been busy. We've been staying busy, not playing busy. Been traveling a lot, giving us some presentations, some workshops, some knowledge to not only youth but also families, and it's been amazing. Start of the year. Can't don't have no complaints on my side. What about you, Pop? How's everything going for you?
Yeah, it's going good, man. Just same old same. I should say not same old same, but grinding hard is always the same. And just trying to make sure that we're touching families and communities in a positive way to give them education and knowledge. And man, it's getting it's real out there, man. It's real out there listening to different young people's stories and family members and speaking of that, it's we just got some news in our neck of the woods, if you will, that a young person, a middle schooler, man, a middle schooler, passed away from misuse of fentanyl, taking a pill, and that hurts. That hurts, man. Hearing about a young person passing away, and especially when it's in your community, and it's actually a school that you attended
Right.
that this young person passed away, and you have even been out there to do presentations on mental health,
Mhm.
and I've done some things over there through the years, but we know that youth cycle through, right, and and we never know what youth are going through on a daily basis, and that's why it's so important. I think the work that you and are doing and getting out there and reminding parents to stay connected. You know what I mean? But I guess I'm wondering like taking yourself back to when you were like in high school or even middle school for that matter. I
Mhm.
mean, how prevalent do you think substances were? You know what I'm saying? Drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, no, I think they were really prevalent. First off, it sucks when you hear about a young person, losing their lives due to a pill that they didn't know, right? I mean, who could have known? Of course, there's fentanyl strips and stuff that you can do, but if you're not taught that prevention measure, you don't know what you're getting, right? You just don't know what you're getting these days. But with my day in middle school, yeah, marijuana was popping. It was a
Some
really big
marijuana.
thing. Yeah, marijuana was definitely popping. Alcohol, a little bit. I think that was a big thing as well, but marijuana was definitely the top thing. And I remember in middle school, the time period it was like when Wiz Khalifa first came out and Taylor Gang was a thing, Odd Future was a thing. And these are people that know. These are kind of equivalent to what was appropriate in culturally, right? Like this was somebody making
Mm.
a statement about they get high and that was cool. It was a thing to do, and some of my acquaintances followed suit. They thought it was cool. They thought it was something that to make them feel more mature. It was just same things that is happening now that we hear.
Right, right. Yeah, I was wondering. I mean, I remember the times you told me definitely about the marijuana and where they would hide it in the crack of the sidewalk and stuff like that.
Right.
I was like, dang, that is smart. But hey, we're I don't ever remember you mentioning pills, but did you hear of it or know about it from other school districts or anything like that? I mean, you play basketball and travel around a lot, so your
Yeah.
ear was to the ground and whatnot.
No, pills were big in not middle school, but high school. High school was when pills started getting introduced. So a lot of benzos and Xanax were getting introduced to the
Okay.
ecosystem. Uh, Cocaine was being used, not regularly, but it was still around. But it wasn't I wouldn't say it wasn't accessible, but it wasn't prevalent in the public schools I was going to. It was more of a what we consider a higher class drug. People that had more disposable money, income to
Mm,
spend that money on those type of products. So yeah, it's pills now. I feel like are being pushed more,
Yeah,
especially
right.
at a younger age, because middle school was, I don't remember. I mean, maybe ibuprofen was the thing, but back then,
Right.
nothing like what we're seeing now as far as young age.
Man, yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, because like, yeah, when I'm talking with young people and hearing about what's going on, similarly like the pills, I don't know like why they've become so I actually I do, because I've heard some youth tell me, it's easier to hide. You can just pop it, you know what I'm saying, and nobody recognizes or knows. Then you're trying to play it off throughout the day, and
Mhm.
so, but I guess, in trying to educate young people about the dangers, I guess it just makes me that much more nervous because, you and I and our field, we're not big on that scare tactics,
Nah.
but unfortunately, the truth about fentanyl is literally this is not a scare tactic, right? You take a pill, man, and you could die, literally. Not, it's somewhat true, right? With alcohol, first time you use it, you may not die. Marijuana, you may not die. Cocaine, you may not die. But with the pill, literally, I mean, you take it because the other thing that I think parents may not know, and hopefully some of them that are listening to this, and hopefully listen with the young person, is I like to share with people that the small amount that it takes
Right.
to kill you is crazy. I mean, the
Mhm.
small amount. I mean, think about like, granules of salt. And if you have like 3 to 10 of those little granules of salt that are like the size of or the amount of fentanyl, that's
Mhm.
what can kill you as
Right.
a human being, as a youth, a young adult. I mean, it
Mhm.
can take you out. And so literally take you out, be done. And
Right.
I think it's hard for young people to grasp that that truth, because it is, I mean, young people's brain are still developing, right? We've talked about that. And um they're risk takers, and they just really don't understand um yeah, the finality of it all. And like you were saying earlier too, man, I mean, or both of us are saying is, uh, we don't want to see young people pass. I mean, we don't see anybody passing away. I mean, if it's due to old age and all that, you're getting up there. But for a young person just starting out their life,
Man.
yeah, that hurts, man. That hurts.
Man, what's really interesting and eye-opening. I was at a conference. This was I want to give a quick shout out to Vive 18. That's their niche, and that's what they focus on,
No
is
doubt.
substance misuse and abuse. And they sent me out to Pomona, California. And this was conference was unique, man. I don't think I even got to fill you in on this loop, but this is really cool. So the conference is called the STARS Conference, and it's put on by CADDA, California Activities something. It's an acronym. And what this conference is all about, it's about bringing youth who don't have the opportunity to go to these leadership conferences, and
Mhm.
they're usually ones that are labeled uh, the bad kids, or they're labeled the ones that are the troubled youth. They invite them to come to this conference for this whole day. They get to skip school, come to this conference, and get some wisdom, right?
Right,
And
right,
get some
right, right.
knowledge. And it's not like it's a celebratory thing. It's,
Right.
hey
No
man,
doubt.
you're making these decisions. I want you to get in front of these people that can help you make better decisions, better informed decisions. So we were a part of that, and it was really cool because I got to be around other speakers, which is awesome. I enjoy being around other speakers and hearing their stories and their testimonies. And there was one speaker that I got to hear speak. His name is D. Hankins. And D. Hankins, in part of his speech, he has this activity where he has students line up in a line. And in the line, every line represented 5 years, or every person represented 5 years. So he had 20 students
Mhm.
stand on stage, and every person represented 5 years. So some of these students have been making unhealthy decisions at middle school age, so around 12 to 13.
Mhm.
And what he did was he counted off 5, 10, 15. Cool. That was only three people long, right? Three people long. They said, yo, look at how many other people are here on this side of the line. You have so many more years ahead of you, and you're choosing right now You're making that decision right now to possibly not see that future to what you become. And I know for me, just being a speaker, that's awesome to see. I love the
Yeah,
visuals.
yeah,
I love
exactly.
getting
Visual of
students
it. Yeah,
involved.
yeah.
But to hear the students just
Oh,
just
dang.
mic drop,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
whoa, dude, and when you see it, it makes sense. You're like, oh my gosh, because going to your point, a lot of students feel like we have these conversations about how pills are fatal and how these things you can become addicted to these things. But in the youth mind, it's I'm
Yeah,
young.
yeah, yeah,
That ain't going.
yeah,
That ain't
yeah.
me. I'm
That
not
ain't gonna
gonna
happen to
become.
me. Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm not gonna become an addict. I'm not.
No, right.
That ain't gonna be me. But to see these students
It happens.
see that visual for them, you can see it click all of a sudden like, oh dang, he's right. I
Yes.
have so much more, there's so much more to life than just my teen years.
Right.
And these decisions that I'm making right now can definitely impact where I'm headed in the future. So when we're thinking about substance misuse and we're thinking about pills and fentanyl, we have to make that clear for our students to understand is that, yo, you have so much more to life than just these teen years. And right now it's hard. Right
Right.
now it's hard. It's crazy for them, right, to be living in this post pandemic world.
Well, I was gonna say also, I mean, I think the other thing, I mean, definitely shout out to what was my man's name again?
D. Hakens, man.
D
D.
Hankins, we got to
Hakens
give him a shout out on that one, man, because that's
for sure.
lovely. And then also Vive 18. I mean, we'll drop that in the link too for y'all to connect with them. Jake is a phenomenal person. We
Yeah.
always want to, shout them out. Um, and but I think the other thing of it is just, the route that we go with this podcast is just reminding parents to, just stay tapped in, stay connected, especially when your young person might have had like a death in the family or something traumatic that happened. And here's the thing about trauma that I learned that's really interesting is and I think I may have talked about it in one of the previous podcasts, but it was explained to me this way that trauma, there's little t and then there's big T. Little traumas can be things that don't seem maybe as big to you as a parent, but can be impacting that young person pretty significantly. Big T are things that are kind of catastrophic, right? Like a parent definitely going to jail, divorce, losing your home, maybe moving to a new location. But here's the thing that's really interesting that you have to be careful of and aware of with little t and big T is that it depends upon the individual,
Right.
how trauma impacts them. May it be little t or big T. But the only way that you know that is by having a conversation
Mm.
to see how it's been impacting them. Um, and I think we forget about that as parents. We just think that our youth are okay and they're just going through this or that, and they'll get over it. But you and I talked about in one of our previous podcasts about the anxious generation, and things are different now, man. You know what I mean? Like just because of social media and how it's landing with people and the things that they're seeing and the things that they're hearing and is there any processing of that happening?
Mm.
There needs
Mm.
to be some processing happening, and not necessarily just with their friends,
Right.
because their friends don't have that life experience yet, so they need a caring adult to tap into and with to maybe talk through some of the stuff that they're seeing and hearing. Um, and so again, I feel bad for this young person, but don't want to see any more in our community or in our state. Um, and it's I don't know. I just feel we just got to remind people, stay connected, stay tapped in. Um, it's important that we recognize that this drug is out there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, and we've always talked about this, you and I,
Hmm.
as father son, but it's choice. Right.
Right.
I mean, there's supply and demand. I know there's some rhetoric out there about, well, we'll just close down the border so this stuff doesn't come in, or we'll do this,
Mm,
that, and the other. But it's also about the supply side. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, excuse me, the demand side. I'm sorry, demand side of who's wanting it. Um,
Mhm.
and there's a market for it. And so if we
Right.
can help our young people um, not need that, but stay tapped into their family and their friends and the self-care strategies that you talk about
Yeah.
that are more healthy, might be might be d- more benefit. I mean, are beneficial, period.
Yeah. I think, going backpedal a little bit more about what you're saying about there's more to it than just, when we talk about big T and little T, right? When we talk about trauma, man, again, going back to that conference, I do a workshop now called The Mask That We Wear. And
Mhm.
it's literally, um, I didn't have masks that day, but I did have paper, and I had students using front paper to represent, like, what do you put on for the world to see? Like, what is the face that you put on for the world to see? And mine was a smile. Every time I would go out there, and I was going through my mental health struggle, was this smile that people wouldn't ask me if I was okay because it looked like I was okay and I was able to do what I wanted to do. But deep down inside, I really wanted somebody to ask me, genuinely ask me, like, yo, how are you doing? And on the back side of the mask, what we would put is, how do you really feel inside? So we go back to these students who are labeled as the trouble students, the bad students, which isn't true whatsoever. Those labels aren't who they are. Those are some of the behaviors that they exhibit, but that's not who they are. And to sit there with high school and middle school students was crazy. I don't think they've had time to really reflect on that question.
Mhm.
And as we're sitting there, students are, I'm like, all right, here, you got 5 minutes to write down, what do you put on for the world to see? And a lot of them, I remember going around to every group, and they'll tell me, yeah, CEO, I put on this face that I'm cool, that I'm chill, that I don't care. Or the big thing right now, if you're a parent, you hear this nonchalant, right? Like, I'm this nonchalant guy or whatever. Or I act out in class, or I'm the goofy one, or I'm the class clown. All right,
Right.
cool. These are all the things that you exhibit. What's really going on inside?
Mhm.
And two things that stuck out to me when I was talking to two students stuck out to me. One student said, nobody knows that my dad passed away
Mm.
and I'm hurting. So to get rid of the hurt, or to not feel the hurt, I hurt others. This is a
Mm.
student. This is a student telling me this. I don't know them. They just met me an hour ago
Right.
and they're telling me this. And we have, I worked through it with them. I said, okay, what are some other healthy ways that we could do? And they're like, this. It's like, what? Talking about it.
Mm.
Ooh, good. I love it.
Solid. Solid.
And then we went to another student. All right, so what you really feeling inside? I'm angry. What are you angry about? I'm just angry. And we get to dive in a little bit deeper into
Mhm.
that. And her anger, and these were two young ladies that were telling me this, that they were angry and that they were sad. And it's weird because we always have this stigma attached to men not being able to open up, which is true. We've talked about that in previous podcasts. But these young women are also suppressing some of their emotions now because
Yeah.
it's cool to be nonchalant. It's cool to seem like nothing bothers you.
Right.
But
Right.
we have to be the only reason why this activity works with a certain facilitator is because you have to show that you care.
Mhm.
You have to show that
Mhm.
you care. You can't do this activity passively. You just can't be up there. Yeah, okay, cool. Write down some of your front and back, and
Mhm.
we'll grade it. We'll put this in for a grade. That's not how it works because it's like, oh, they don't really care. This is an assignment. Or if
Mhm.
you're a parent, they're still looking at their phone, and that's what we do in our presentations. Our behavioral rehearsal is we look at our phone, we're at our laptop, we're
Mhm.
helping up another sibling, a younger sibling
Mhm.
at that.
Yep.
And those things show our students that, all right, well, if my mom and dad or my parent or guardian is not listening to me, then you know
Yeah.
what? I'll just go to this pill. Because
Yeah.
when I take this pill, I feel better.
I
or when
feel
I
better.
hit this joint or this cart, I feel better. And then I
Right.
can leave my mom and dad to be busy with other things, and they don't have to worry about me. I don't have to feel like a burden to other people.
So true. So true. Yeah. No, that's right on. It's just remembering that young people need that outlet. Other than the phone, because I mean, one of the dangerous things that I'm a little nervous about that's coming out too, right? Is it Gemini from
Google?
Android, the AI
Yeah,
on
that's
the phone?
Google. Yeah, Gemini is Google.
So Google, and you can have a conversation with it, and
Mm,
that seems like it's uh how do you say it? That could be used. It's something that could be used.
right.
But again, there's nothing like that social or human connection. Um, you know, I remember there was oh man, in social behavioral sciences, there was an experiment that was done with monkeys
Mhm.
many years ago, and it was a monkey that they had two monkeys. One they showed connection with by contact and talking with it and showing it, showing care. And that monkey then began to reconnect and connect with people. It seemed well balanced and happy. But then there was a other monkey that they didn't show any connection to, or touch, or love, or companionship.
I remember that.
And that monkey ended up not doing well health wise. And I don't believe he passed away, but
I thought he
he
did. I thought that was the point as well.
I can't remember, and I don't want to. I don't make it that sad if
Right,
I'm
for sure.
wrong,
Yeah, but I thought that was
right? I had to go back, but yeah, I'm going back in my memory. But I mean, it just goes to show that human connection. Because the thing that's so awesome and amazing about the mind is it is not artificial.
mm,
It knows between artificial. I think it can be able to tell, and it can probably then, and I'm hypothesizing here, right?
right.
Creates connections that are not human connections in the brain. What I mean by that, let me see if I can say that again. Is it'll connect differently than if
Mm.
it were like it was a human connection versus an AI.
It's like Splenda versus real sugar. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, got you,
The brain. That's what I'm hypothesizing right
got
on
you.
this, because we don't know the results of what this is going to happen. And again, I don't mean to pick on Google,
Mm.
but I
I
do
mean,
mean to pick on AI,
right.
because there are people that are using that as a form of connection and having relationships with this AI and talking to it. Um, but there needs to be something else there that we just need to be mindful of. So my point being is, tough conversations for stronger
Right.
connections is when we talk about that, it's about two human beings
Mhm.
connecting.
That's so true. No, that's so good. And you know, I this is probably a good ad spot here, but we're
Oh
partnered
yeah,
with an
yeah,
app, an
right.
AI app called Brighton. And what I really love about Brighton, and we talked about it, we had the CEO Jeff Johnston on our podcast before 2024 ended and into 2025. And the cool thing about Brian, and I'm part of the Thriver Council, which is kind of like the community advisory to make sure things are, good outreach, whatever. So the cool thing about this app, though, that Jeff and his team are trying to make sure that happens is that it's partnered with a human aspect with it as
Exactly,
well. So we
exactly.
have Brighton Buddies is what it's called, right? So the cool thing about the AI app, the Brighton app, is that I can write down, I can journal in the app, and that's my thing. That's my coping skill. I journal, and the AI will summarize my journal prompt and say, yeah, you're showing great resiliency, or here, can I offer you some suggestions? So I can click suggestions. And what's really cool is I can share my journal entry with somebody else.
Right.
So I can click and share it with Jeff, the CEO of Brian, and be like, yo, Jeff, this is my entry. And he can read it And what that does is he's able to read my entry, and he sends me his entry for the week or the day, and now we're connected. And if he's something happened during that entry, he's like, and I notice, I'm like, hey, yo, this is what you said in your this is your entry summary. Oh, is everything okay? Oh man, I'm so glad you asked because I wanted to talk about it with somebody. And that's going deeper than just here's an AI tool
Right, right,
that
right,
you
right.
can
100%.
use,
100%.
and that's it.
Right,
It's let's build a community. How can we build community through this AI app
right.
while also being in human contact with somebody? And with when we think about substance misuse and why students may be using is of course maybe part of that self-medicating, that
100%.
loneliness that they
100%.
feel from a
100%.
parent or guardian. And one of the
Or
things I
lack
want
of
to
friends.
offer, sorry, go for it.
Or lack of friends.
Yeah, lack of friends and finding friendships in a community that they feel like they belong to.
Belong. Hmm.
And one of the things that I wanna share with people specifically, man, because it's cool. And this is like, man, I feel like I'm cheating here, giving you the Brian app, but man, I want to connect with y'all. And the best way that we can do that, if you use Brian and you're like, you know what, this is cool. I like where this is going. I can be your Brighton buddy. You can send me your Instagram DM through Up to It AZ, and I can read your entry. And man, I can always carve out 5 minutes of my day to talk to some of y'all. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to carve out 5 minutes to be like, yo, that's deep. Have you considered talking to somebody else about this as well?
Right.
And I can be your first contact, of course. And that's something that I'm willing to do. But you got to download the Brian app so we can get that happening. But even if you don't download the Brian app, our DMs are always open. Our DMs are always open. If you're feeling
If
lonely,
you
you
need
need
to.
a place to connect. Now, we're the connectors. We love to connect people, with other organizations that are
Yes,
doing
sir.
positive things. So, man, don't be afraid to reach out, even if you're a parent, right? Uh, we have what do you say? We have concepts of a
Mhm. Right,
a
right, right.
Facebook group,
Trying to
and you
build
can
it. Trying to build it.
yeah, we're building it, and we want you to be a part of that building. Be
Yes.
part of that foundation of being an up to it parent because parenting is not easy. It's not. Even if you're a foster parent, even if you're a stepfather or stepmother,
Mhm,
or even if
mhm.
you're a grandparent trying to
Rookie.
parent a Gen Z or a Gen Alpha, like it's different.
It's
And
different now,
we
man.
want to bring you into a community where everybody in here is going through something, but they looking for a positive outlet and community to help build them up. It could be a place to rant, but honestly, what we want this to be a place for, and our Up to It Parents group is a place for solutions,
Yep.
a place where you don't feel alone, a place where
Mhm.
you can hear other people are going through the same thing. And it's not just your kid that's going through
Right.
it.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
why we want to be connected. So there's two ways you can connect with us through the Bryant app. You can send us your entries and check it out. You get a free day trial, and you can check that out. You can get 10% off using Up to It 10. But the other thing is that if you're a parent listening right now and you may be interested in Brighton, but you're like, you know what, I use Facebook often, man, tap into us with Facebook at face. Look it up on the groups at Up to It Parents, and you can find us there.
Yep.
You can join our group. We're looking for moderators all the time, looking for people to start conversations. Because even though I can carve out 5 minutes of my time,
Same.
I prefer to focus on the youth. But and I'm always willing down to
Yeah.
have leaders within our community also take that step for us and
And I'm
volunteer.
definitely in there checking it out and giving suggestions and advice. But I think the other thing too, so there's almost like levels to this stuff
That's
as we get ready to close out here. But is journaling and what Brighton does is great because it allows a young person or persons in general to not be in their head and get stuff written down, right? And so with the Brighton app, you can definitely uh, talk to text, which I love. I use that aspect of it, but you can also then type things out. So it's getting it out of you, right? Because if you hold on to a lot of these emotions and thoughts, that's not good. But I like what Z was saying also, which is important, and Brighton understands this too. Because when we talked to the CEO, he was 100% with it, which is you still need that social connection. So when you add all that together, though, man, how powerful is that to make sure that we're living healthy lives, um, and having some type of foundation and stability. And so, yeah, as we're thinking about it, man, this was triggered, as you and I know, the conversation because of this young person that passed away. Um, and we don't need any more. We need all hands on deck. We don't need any young people passing away. I know that, to have 100% rate of no one passing is probably far fetched, but can we do 99%?
Right.
99.5
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and working towards that. But and if you all are interested, again, we support a lot of different people who support us. If it comes to the substance abuse side of things, definitely reach out to Jake at Vive 18, man. They travel across the nation. Jake is an amazing dude, and what he offers is amazing. And they're willing to come out to you all. And then on the mental health side, you got Z, and then with the uh, for the parents and youth, you got me and Z. So check that all out. Let's not have any more deaths. Those of us that are part of the Up to It family, anything we can do to help somebody, not only Z and I, but I mean us as a community. Let's do it, because we don't need any more deaths, man. We just don't need them.
I love it, man. And yeah, we love to honor that young person's life and not let their story be unwritten or unheard. And we know you're not just somebody who was a fentanyl overdose. We know there was so much more to that
Heck
young
yeah.
person's life, and we want to honor that right here on Up to It. So if you're listening and you're part of that community that has been hit by that, and you're like, man, this is heavy, and always feel free to reach out to us at Up to It AZ. We're only a hop, skip, and a jump away, or even a text away, to help you guys out, or even help your community out, whatever that may be. With that being said, again, you can follow us at Up to It AZ. You can always reach out to me on my personal at Zion_Givens. Pop over here, he's on the Up to It AZ. You can reach out to him.
Yes, I'm in there. I'm in there.
Yeah, he's up in there, especially in the Facebook group. If you're a parent or guardian listening, like, you know what, I want to find like-minded individuals who are solution oriented. Man, come on down. We welcome you with open arms so we can build
Yeah.
this community and see it thriving. So with that being said, man, we're gonna get up out of here.
Yes.
And we hope that y'all have a great rest of your evening, morning, and day. And we'll see you on the next one.
We'll get at you.
Peace.